right, so this video is going to go over the basics of how to paint in materials into your SketchUp model. There are several ways we can do it. I'm going to just show you some of the starter ones, and then I'm going to do a separate video of how to make your own custom materials. But there's already a pretty good library of like textures and patterns and colors loaded for us. And then I'm going to show you how to use the architecture plugin too that we've added in class. All right, so before we begin, you want to have your default tray opened up. So to do that, make sure you're over on Windows default tray, and these are the ones that are checkbox that I have open and available in my tray. All right, so for this part of our segment, if they're either open or closed, you can click on these triangles to open them. We just want to open the materials tab right now. So that's going to just take a second to roll, and it's going to show us all the ones that are kind of preloaded here already in SketchUp. So one of the things you have to do is actually first click on the select tab here, so you can see a whole bunch that are right there. So if you follow along again, you're on the select tab, then you click on this area here where there's a triangle. It's going to show you all of the different preloaded ones. It's also going to have in model, meaning ones that I've already pulled in. So if I click on that, it's got a lot of the texture of this wood, some of the metal from our cabinet, some of the other the the airy cabinet, some of their finishes. So there's already some that's all like loaded here in the program, which we'll talk about in a minute. But first, what we want to play with is painting the walls. So what you can do is go to colors or colors named. Colors is just kind of a rainbow set of colors. Colors named is kind of coordinating a bit more to what paint styles might be in paint names. So I'm going to click on that one for now. I'm going to pick a really bright color just so you can see it really well and sort of how this starts out. This is a pretty easy way to get paint on your walls, and also it's pretty easy to customize these colors too. So if I'm going to scroll down to basically find one fairly close to what you want, I'm going to go with this green here just so we can see it really bright. So this is medium sea green. So I'm going to click on that. So left click once, and then see how as I pull my mouse over, it's turned into the paint bucket. So then I click here, and that's going to paint that whole wall for me. Now, if for some reason this is not quite what I want, I can click on edit, and then I can play with the color wheel. I can also play with RGB codes and sort of slide it around to get exactly the paint color I want. So that's how we're going to basically paint our walls or paint in things that are solid colors for us. Now, the other thing we can do is we can now pull, basically kind of use the eyedropper. It's very similar to Photoshop to get some of the colors and patterns from our model that are already in there. So I'm going to click this eyedropper. And so, for example, there's this wood finish right here. So if I click on that, see how that's now active. So I could paint this cabinet, now that wood tone. One of the nice things about the airy cabinets that I just painted in there is if we zoom way out, there is a palette here of the colors and pattern, or the colors and wood grains that they have for their cabinets. So if I click on this eyedropper again, there's paint colors, but there's also wood grains. Let me get another one just so you can see it. Let's get this dark one here. I think it's cherry. Zoom out. I'm going to zoom back in, and I'll kind of paint one of the ones over here just so you can see the difference. So there's a much darker wood grain. This is correct. This is sort of how it's going to wrap and repeat itself around your surfaces there of something like furniture. Now, there's something different for wood flooring. So for that, we're going to go back over here to this tab here. So click on where it says colors named. This time we're going to go down to wood. This is a mix of both wood grain. So they don't give you a lot because they know you're getting better ones, honestly, off the internet and off their libraries. But here's one for wood flooring. So I'm going to put this in for now, just so you can see the difference of that. So if I clicked on it once and then I painted it here, it's showing me the rectangles that make up a wood flooring. That's called planks. That's what we want the kind of texture to be on our flooring. Again, where the wood is just the texture of the material of the wood itself. Now, this isn't the most attractive wood. Again, a lot of the default samples here in SketchUp, they're getting you started, but there's much better kind of real world images out there. This is where the architecture plugin works really nicely. So you're going to open that up. And in my case, we're going to go to category, and we're going to go to wood. Now, again, pay attention to what's furniture versus flooring. So this is furniture wood. Flooring is when, again, you get these kind of like grids or like rectangles, because that's how the wood is actually installed in planks. You can also get something in herringbone too. I'm going to do the herringbone just because you can kind of see a couple things that happen with it. Now, the scale of this guy is really big, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit smaller. Then what you want to do is say import, and it's going to pop it over here on the right. So there it is right there, my oak herringbone. Now, if I hover here and paint, there it is on the floor. Now, the problem with some of these textures here is this guy is huge. What they've done is they've given you a nice quality image, but it's way too big for what we're using in the real world. So we're going to click on the edit button here. And now what we want to do is we don't want to change the color, so we'll just kind of leave that alone in the color wheel. What we want to change is the scale, which is down here. So this is the left and the right. It's locked together now, which means it'll stay proportional. I played with this earlier, so I think this guy works if I type in 5 feet. And see how now it's jumped down to a smaller kind of real world scale. So you might have to edit some of your sample imagery, both from the architecture kind of plugin, but also some things that you find in the real world. That's where it comes in this edit tag where we can play with this a bit more. All right, so that should get you started between the materials here and the materials here. I'll show you again another options for, say, when we're doing countertops. You might pick stone, like I said, if you're going to have a granite countertop. So there's a couple really nice samples here. Like you're going to ignore the brick, but these ones here where it says like this Calcutta Vina, Calcutta marble, those are all stones that you could use for your countertops. So that would be a good start with that. Next video, I'm going to show you how to make your own custom material finishes, which you are not required to do this semester, but we are definitely going to be using this sophomore year. So you want to get a little bit of experience in making those.